so many of us watching the film and seeing Angela Shelton confront her father, ask, why weren't you the attacker? Why weren't you the aggressor? Why didn't you know, just get all of them? You know, and I want to start there, and then I want to move back and talk about just the whole process of starting this whole film, because it didn't start like this at all. It was a sort of a lighthearted effort. So
first, why didn't I bop him upside the head?
Yes, yes, bopping would be appropriate. Yes.
Whack him upside the head? Well, I think I disassociated. You know, I left my body.
Okay.
And I became a little kid again. There was three.
Because he's your father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't believe that you're sitting there next to your abuser and your dad, and then you want to protect your abuser, and also you can't believe that he's such a flat-out liar. And then as a filmmaker, I was like, this is fabulous. He's just digging it and crawling in it. So there was quite a few things going on. Okay. And then I figured, I mean, I so wanted to just smack him upside the head. But I couldn't believe it. Just like, oh my God, on so many levels, just dumbfounded.
You know, Angela's book is wonderful. Let me say that right now. It's going to be available for sale after this event. But one of the things I discovered in here is that she's found ways to find humor in the experience, and you can tell already that she can be quite the jokester. You also mention in your book that one of the things that you're really, really good at is pretending to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
well, I'm not good at that anymore.
Okay, you're not good at that anymore. Okay.
That's how I existed before I did the film. You know, because I was in Hollywood as an actress and a writer, and you know, I was in a lot of pain, and wasn't revealing a lot of my pain. That's why I wrote the book.
Right. Right. And it's a wonderful book because you include not only diary entries or journal entries, but you also talk about the history of before and after you began the film. You go back to your childhood, you talk about experiences. It's really fabulous. But I wonder, I think somewhere in the book you talk about how every day you thought of your father. Your father is a constant presence in your life. Has that changed? Has it changed now?
I don't think about him ever. He's not a part of my life. And I actually have created fathers.
Okay.
You know,
surrogate ones that are good and don't abuse.
Yeah. And I also became a BACA child. If anybody knows what BACA is, it's Bikers Against Child Abuse.
Yeah. Is that like a Harley on a Harley?
And they are on Harleys, and they will kick you. And I became a BACA child, so I got adopted by. Well, BACA is they adopt children who have case numbers. I mean, I'm a little old to be adopted by BACA, but I didn't care. I was like, adopt me. I have a case number.
Right.
And they'll go with the little kids to the court when you're testifying against your perpetrator. All the BACA members show up in the courtroom. It's really phenomenal. And I found them, and I was like, oh my God, Dad. And so I got adopted by them, and I was around a lot of good men.
Right.
Big, scary men, like my dad, but they were good guys.
Right.
And
that shocked you?
Yeah, and it was just so healing for me to be around all these men and be safe, and I was like, Dad!
Well, was your sense of men as a group, I mean, obviously it was colored by the fact that the man, your father, biological father, was doing these horrible things to you and leaving you in pain and suffering. But did it affect every single male relationship that you have?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think I swung a couple different ways. Like I had relationships with the guys who were verbally abusive and violent. And then I had relationships with the total wimp that I had total control over.
Oh, okay.
So that I was the controller. So that psychology is pretty interesting. It's like your life is an Excel spreadsheet, and you could just it makes all sense. You know, you write down all your traumas, and it makes perfect sense who you choose in your life. This was the short version of the film. This was the version that aired on Lifetime television
in April
2006.
Okay.
2008
I
already?
know. Listen, you know, speaking of time, I mean, as I mentioned in my intro, 2001,
Yeah.
you were sitting with another producer, is that right, for HBO? Tell a story about how this whole project came about.
Well, I was doing a theater piece that I've now written, finally, around my name, because my name isn't Angela Shelton. I changed my name when I was 18. That's kind of the whole funny thing. Like, this is why I love Angela Shelton. That's why the T-shirts say I love Angela Shelton, the buttons. Like, I changed my name. I chose to be Angela Shelton. So I was doing this theater piece, and it wasn't working. And then...
And there's a threat of a writer's strike.
Yeah, then the writer's strike was coming. The one that just happened, it was gonna happen in 2001. So you either had to do a theater piece or a reality show. Hello, you do the math. Or a documentary. And so many people were focused on documentaries or reality shows. And I was pitching another show to HBO. And in the office, and she's like, do you have any ideas for a documentary? Because we need to do things during the strike. And I was like, yeah, I'll drive around the country and meet all the Angela Sheltons. Just like pull that out of my head.
She thought it was a hoot.
Yeah, she's like, hilarious! We'll get you a bus that says Angela Shelton on the side. We'll have matching hats and little jackets. And I was like, hilarious. So I thought they were going to fund my idea.
Right, and then what happens? They said green light is now a red light, right? We're not doing it. Because
another guy, Alan Berliner, did this movie called Alan Berliner, where he invited all the 12 Alan Berliners over for dinner. And I was like, my movie is not about 12 Jewish men having dinner. Right, thank you. So, but they said, we're not going to fund your idea because somebody else is already doing it. But at that point, I had already
contacted people.
Yeah, I'd already started calling Angela Shelton's. I was already hooked. And so then I was like, well, how am I going to do this? And my friend was like, throw a party. So I threw a party. And I had T-shirts.
What did the party do?
Raised money.
Okay.
And so, like, if you came to the party, you had to bring me money.
All right, okay.
And then I sent out invites to the party with, I can't attend, but here's my big fat check, with a self-addressed stamped envelope. So I sent it to every single person I knew. Now I know a lot more people than that.
Oh, sure. Now this project cost about $300,000, is that right?
Rub it in. Just rub it in.
And there were times when it wasn't clear whether you were going to be able to continue. It had not just to do with your emotional state, depending on what was going on, but also because you didn't have the funding to keep going, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So talk about some of the glitches and some of the saviors that came out of that.
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, if you want to make the money, get the money. If you want to make a movie, get the money.
Right. Not after the fact.
Yeah, I left with $1,500.
And you had a crew.
And a dream.
Yeah.
And I, like,
you kept that dream alive.
I did. I sold all my stock. I'm like, stock. Now I'm like, stock. It's so funny. So I sold everything. I did a couple commercials. I wrote a script while I was in the RV and was driving to Kinko's and wiring it back to LA. That was rough. And then I ran out of money in New York City. I had $50. And of course my crew didn't know this.
Right. That was probably best to keep them in the dark about it.
I was like, it's fine. I was like breaking out and having like hysterical moments of like my hair was falling out.
Is it four people made up your crew?
And then I had $50 in my account. I had no idea how I was going to get out of New York. Of course, I was a self-mutilator. That's what my book, the majority of it, is about. And of course, I'm beating myself up for being so stupid. And then the phone rang, my cell phone rang, and Marcus Allen, do you know the football player, Marcus Allen, sent me $10,000.
You didn't even know. You didn't know who he was.
I didn't even know what he was. I was like, football, yeah. He had heard about me through a friend of mine in Hollywood. That she was like pitching him this idea because he was getting into producing, and she's like, oh, you got to fund this movie. And finally, she got through to him, and just in like the nick of time, literally, he wired me $10,000. Woo! I love football now.